Welcome to the Top Gun Show. Today we have my friend, Guy Fieri, on the show today. And yeah, you may have seen him on the cover of Entrepreneur magazine talking about how to do everything, right?
Yeah.
You do everything. You're everywhere. I go grocery shopping and you're on the floor and you're everywhere.
Well, I'm not on the floor, but I like the way you're thinking.
There was. Yeah, I saw your picture.
I was on the floor. Yeah, well, that's nice. Yeah, no, I don't know. That was a great article. I've been a fan of the magazine for a long time, and when we started talking, we kind of collaborate together. Like, what's the topic going to be? One of the things they asked me is, how do you do all the different facets and all different companies and all different projects you're involved in? How do you do it? And that kind of became, I didn't title it that, but they did, and it was a great piece. It was really very honoring. I was really happy.
It's amazing. I keep that right by my desk.
Well, that's good. I hope you did. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
So another thing you just did was you got your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
Tell our viewers a little bit about that.
Well, if you go to Hollywood, my son Ryder asked me, he says, we were driving on the way to school, and it was the day we were going to leave to go down to Hollywood, and he said, did you ever dream that this was going to happen? And I said, Ryder, I couldn't even dream of this. This is not even a dream type thing. This was so outside of left field. I mean, I never thought I'd be in TV, never thought I'd be doing the things that I'm doing outside of the food world. But I guess it's now inside the food world. But I said, no, I couldn't even have dreamed of this. So, there's, I don't know what my exact number is, but I'm in the 2800s of stars that are been recognized there in Hollywood. In the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, it's an amazing process of what goes on and how it takes place. And Food Network is the ones that actually did behind my back. They went and nominated me. And they had to pay a big fee to do it and the whole thing. And it's just it's more than a mind-blowing opportunity. But the thing that is so important for me, and it gives me goosebumps as I talk about it, and it's what my speech was about, is it really was my time to turn the spotlight on all my friends and family and everybody that's had such a big role in my life, in the way that they've helped me, mentored me, encouraged me, inspired me, threatened me, whatever it might have been. And it was just a really great time to stand up there and talk about them, because I was getting the star, and I've had my accolades, I've had the TV shows and the Emmy stuff and all, and not to make light of any of it, but it was just, that was what I was so excited about, and I was happy to be able to deliver it without bawling my eyes out. I was happy to be able to deliver it with a little bit of humor and enthusiasm. And it was probably, besides the day my sons were born, probably the greatest day I can remember.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Quite an honor. I don't know if you remember this. Well, we go way back. We go back to when you opened your first restaurant. And I owned a paper company, and our sales rep came up.
I know I remember this because we just talked about this. So of course I remember this, because now comes that I only made a nickel on every ream of paper.
A nickel is all I made on this guy. It was the table cover that's pre-cut that goes on the tables.
Because we would cut all the paper, and A, it was super noisy. B, you had busboys that weren't good at tearing the paper, so you had all kinds of mess ups on the paper. So we went to our buddy here and we said, "Can you get someone to pre-cut the paper for us?" So we had nice, clean, pre-cut paper. That worked out pretty good for us.
Not that you care about attention to detail.
Not at all. Not at all. Not that was a big issue.
I don't know. And then the other memory I have of you is, I think it was like 2010. I don't know if you remember this, but it was when you were debuting Minute to Win It. And you went on the Tonight Show, and I had previously met Jay. You invited me to go along with you. And we went on a tour. We had a limo, and we went on a tour before we got up to the Tonight Show. We went to, I don't know, Entertainment Tonight, TV Guide Magazine, all of them. And then we got on the Tonight Show, we went backstage in the green room, and you met Jay, and you went on the show. Kristen Stewart was on the show.
So wait a second, if I gave you all that, why do I have to do the interview now? Haven't I paid my 5-cent ream of paper deal?
No, you have.
I'm just kidding.
But Kristen, this is distinctly what I remember. Kristen Stewart was on the show for one of her Twilight movies or something. Right. And she came late, she rushed on the show, and she hardly said a word to Jay. I mean, didn't open up at all. He'd ask her a question, she'd say yes, no. That was it. Then you got on the show right after her as the next guest, and you opened her up like I couldn't believe. She was answering all your questions, and I thought at that time, I thought, you need your own Tonight Show. Can we lobby for that?
If I've heard it once, I've heard it a million times. I'd say not with the way Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel do, not with the way they do their. I mean, they own it.
Yeah.
They've taken it to the next level. I mean, I think that every genre that we've seen, no one was ever going to do it better than Carson. No one was ever going to do it better than Leto and Letterman. Nobody's ever going to do it better. So I think that I probably have missed it, and I don't have the time. I don't have the time or the energy, and I love what they do and the commitment that to do what I know Jimmy Fallon and to do what Jimmy does, and to be as great as Jimmy is. He not only has to be a great host, which he's phenomenal at, but he also he really has his ear to the ground on what's going on, what's going on in music, what's going on in actors, he knows all that kind of stuff. I don't know anything, man. I'm tied up in what are my kids doing, what are the restaurants doing, so it's different things. Do I love talking to people? Yes. Do I love the opportunity to help people engage? Yes. I do a lot of that on Guys Grocery Games and on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. But if I heard it once, I heard it once. And do I have those little glimmers once in a while and say, gosh, you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to guest host. That'd probably fill the bill for me.
Well, let's write in and make that happen.
Who is writing these letters? Who's Farmalito?
Yeah. Guy. Okay, the other thing I remember about that was at the end of that day, after we taped the show, I was in the back seat, and you turned around to me and you said, Farmelo, you've known me a long time. What do you think? And I remember, like, every time we stopped somewhere, loads of people come out of the woodwork.
You didn't say, I said, Farmelo, what do you think? Well, what do you think about kicking down some gas money? I think is what I was meaning. I didn't say. And again, the 5 cents for a ream of paper came out again, and so I just let you go on the.
I think I carried your bags or something. But I remember telling you then, even in light of, like, there was mobs of people everywhere you went. I remember telling you then, Guy, you are bigger and better than you even think you are. Because you have a way, I told you that, I said, you have a way with every single person you talk to. You're present, you're caring, you're sincere. And I said, how do you do that? And do you remember what you said?
I said, you get kicked down and gas money?
No. You said, to me, I'm a restaurateur. When someone came into my restaurant, I was so appreciative that they came into my restaurant. When someone comes up to me on the street, I just have a bigger restaurant now.
No, I didn't know that I said that. I should have written that down. That's probably the smartest thing I've ever said. No, you know what it is? If you treat everybody, I think it's one of my favorite terms my late sister used to use was namaste. And I think that when you really look at the power in people and you recognize who people are and not who the famous or not famous, just recognize who they are. That person, Henry Winkler said it to me the best. He said, you're going to take your picture with thousands of people, but when they take a picture with you, it's only the one time they'll ever take a picture with you.
Right.
And so you have to really take the time to recognize how special people are in their light, in their time, in their energy. And when they're there and they're asking for that picture, that autograph, whatever, you have to really put it in the perspective of where they're at. And I tell you something, that paradigm, that perspective was probably one of the greatest things I've ever learned. And that's, again, back to when my speech at the Walk of Fame was to really say to everybody, thank you. You all taught me something, one way, shape, or form, form or another. You told me or showed me or set by example or reinforced with me. Matthew McConaughey, that's one of the reasons I asked Matthew to speak, is because he had made some really poignant, clear, prolific comments to me when I first got involved first got in the business. So
that's amazing. So let's fast forward to today. You've been doing this for over a decade now, right? In front of cameras and doing your shows and diners.
13 years, 4 months, 6 days. No, I'm just kidding.
Since the Rima paper. What's new? What's going on? I read about the Boston Little Tequila restaurant.
Yeah, so we've got Sandy Hagar and I just partnered on a tequila program. So we're working together with Santo Tequila. We've opening restaurants all over. We've got 65 restaurants now worldwide. We've got Dubai and Colombia and Mexico, South Africa. a bunch throughout the United States. Getting ready to do a new restaurant at the Garden in Boston. Doing a restaurant called Tequila Cocina, Guy Fieri's Tequila Cocina. So we're going to do 100 different tequilas and do some really great authentic Mexican food there in the great city of Boston. Love Boston. It's one of my favorite cities. So we got that, and just have a lot of projects. I mean, a lot of big projects, a lot of big restaurant openings, and all different styles of restaurant. We have one called now. It's called Guy Fieri's Dive and Taco Joint. So it's just, we build the funkiest.
So I could afford that then.
Yes, you would actually like this. It's just a funky joint that is just with the old crazy neons and weird signs and the whole thing, and but nice and clean and great restrooms and all that. And then we do tacos, and we do all different types of street tacos.
Yeah,
lots going on.
Now, have you been on Chopped or Shark Tank? And I mean, I could see you on all those as well.
You know, Chopped is a great show. I mean, one of the best shows we have on the Food Network, and definitely have a lot of folks from that show that come on Guys Grocery Games and so forth. But between Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, Guys Grocery Games, Guys Ranch Kitchen, and then little one-offs here and there when I do a trip with Hunter, or we went and did Shark Week, or so I've got enough little spin-offs that are going, but yeah, we got more than we have to actually turn stuff down just because we don't want to dilute it, and we also just want to make sure we really have the time to do it, and that's probably the biggest challenge, you know, of just making sure we shoot 39 triple Ds in a year, and 52 Guys Grocery Games in a year.
Holy cow.
And then 14 Guys Ranch Kitchen in a year.
And they're spread all over the place. It's not like you have a studio.
Well, the grocery games, of course, we shoot here in Northern California, but yeah, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, we're all over the country. I mean, and even out of the country. We shoot Hawaii once a year. We'll be shooting Alaska this year. Hopefully we'll get to Puerto Rico. Then Hunter next year. Hunter and I have a whole 1 month tour through Asia. So it's a Hunter and Guys trip when Hunter graduates from college. So yeah, it's not no rest for the wicked, my friend.
Wow. Is there an end game here, or are you just going to ride this thing out? I mean, where do you want to be in 5 years?
Alive.
Yeah.
You know,
do that, will you?
Alive. No, you know what? It's not right now. I've got a great balance. I got a great balance between being with my family, doing things that I love, helping other people find their dreams. You know, watching my executive team and watching all the players inside of Knuckle Sandwich, watching them get to achieve their dreams and to go next level. I mean, we're doing some really cool next level stuff. So to watch all that happen, watch Hunter go, finish college and then come out of college and go masters or go internship with Gordon Ramsay, or who knows what his adventure will be. Ryder's got 5 more years of school before he'll be off to college. So it's just a real cruise. My dad just beat pancreatic cancer, and that was a big one. So I thought my life was going to be pretty upended from that. Yeah. And fortunately, he beat it. He's doing great, and great doctors and great people and great advancements in medicine. But now, you know what? I can't forecast it. After the star thing. After getting the star,
that's so cool.
I closed that book.
So cool.
What's the next? What's the next adventure going to be? But charity and philanthropy are always, a big, are very important to me. We just built a 48-foot long rescue trailer. So now when we have disasters, and unfortunately we see them more often now than probably ever, we have the ability to pick up and go at any time.
Right.
And Freightliner gave us a big truck to haul it with. So this is a full rolling commercial kitchen, able to feed anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 people in a day. So we have that we just got delivered, so we're just up and running with that. And
I know you did a lot of work around the fires.
Yeah.
Jesse and I lost our house in October 2017, and we were running around. I mean, we didn't have any insurance or anything. We were running around trying to find toothbrushes and a new place to live and pillows and blankets. And I see you were down serving food for people. So
you see, unfortunately, we see the greatest of our community of mankind in tragedy.
Yeah.
And there's so much bickering and arguing and frustrations and opinions and all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, a tragedy like the fire happened, and you get to see people just drop it all and get involved in their community and help out. And I remember a good friend of ours, Josh Johnson. I remember Josh coming up to me and showed up at the trailer like day 2, and I said, "How are you?" And he goes, "We lost everything." I said,
Yeah.
"What are you doing here?" And he goes, "Well, I don't have anywhere to go. I thought I'd come help." And so there's Josh Johnson, my insurance guy, who lost everything, and now he's coming trying to kind of help others. He says, "I've got a place to stay, and I've got some available time, so why wouldn't I come help?" And I'm like, so that's what you get to see. And then, we did all the fires and, these up here in Northern California.
Right.
Neatest people in the world. I mean, just the neatest people at the worst times. And that can definitely give you a little resurgence, a little confidence that, it's not also, it's not also what the news says on the front page.
Yeah, exactly. I hear it. So we always close the show. This goes out to my LinkedIn community, and largely it's business people, CEOs, founders of companies. We have millions and millions of people watching this right now.
I like it. I like it.
What's the one thing?
What's your name again? Oh, sorry. Oh, we didn't cut? Oh, I apologize. Go ahead.
What's the one thing that very few people know about you that you think you can share?
Leaving for a trip in about an hour. And he's such a good friend of mine. He's such a good dude that I just couldn't cancel. And I'm literally like, my wife and my kids are packing the RV, and everybody's trying to scramble, get their stuff done, because everybody in our group said they're going to leave at the same time. And so all of a sudden the decision was made, and we had made an agreement. So I don't know. What can I say? I don't. I think I've probably given it all. I'm building a house right now. My wife and I are building a house. We're not building it. And it's been one of the most challenging projects. But as much as people told me that it was going to turn into a drag-out fight between Lori and I, it hasn't. We've had, I think, really good communication about what things she wants to make her deal and what things I want to make my deal. Now, we haven't started hanging any pictures on the wall, so...
well, I'm guessing you get to design the kitchen, and she does everything else, or what?
There is, let's not get over our skis there, Farmelo. It's not exactly that way. She's made me, she's been packing for a while now, but she's made me go through and, she's like, I'll come home and there'll be, all the dishes will be out of the cupboard. She's like, okay, so what dishes do you want to keep? And I'll pick and I'll leave them over here, and then she's like, three things out of everything out of the cabinet. And I'll say, okay, well, here's 4, and then she'll take them and they'll be out in the garage, get ready, and I'll go get them and put them back. So we've got a little bit of that.
That's good. That's good.
It's been very funny.
That's good. Well, hey, I know you got to get running. Thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
You're a good man, buddy.
So are you. This guy's the real deal. I've been with him when the camera's not on, in the car with him when the camera's not on. And he is as kind and gentle and gracious as any human being I've ever met.
And I think I should watch out, because if he's got any bleached hair next week, you're like, come after me.
Oh, I gotta close with this. My wife and I were in Yosemite 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. We were in Yosemite 3 weeks ago, and this little old man was walking across the bridge, hunched over and walking, and he had this hat on with the hair.
Yeah.
And I said, where'd you get that hat? And he says, oh, that's my Guy Fieri hat.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you should have.
For you.
If you would have had a picture of this, that would have been perfect.
It was great. It was great. Anyway, thanks for watching, and thanks for being on the show. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right.